You've probably seen this debate a million times online. What's better, a perfectly thrown kunai or the legendary Rasengan? Well, today, we're going to settle it for good, and not with fan theories, but with some real-world physics. We're about to break down exactly why one of the most famous moves in all of anime isn't just for show. It's a totally different and way deadlier kind of attack than any simple blade could ever be.
But that's the question that always pops up, right? When you get down to it, is a super complex, powerful jutsu really that much of an upgrade over just, stabbing someone with a knife? It's a totally fair question, and one we are going to nail down an answer to.
Okay, so let's just lay it all out. On one side, you've got the kunai. It's sharp, it's fast, and it's simple. Pretty straightforward. Then you've got the Rasengan. It's all about rotation, it's incredibly destructive, and, well, it's super complex to pull off. But right there, in those simple descriptions, is a massive clue about the different kind of damage they actually do.
To really get to the bottom of this, we've got to start with the argument that pretty much kicked off this entire debate. And here it is, straight from a user named Ovi on the Anime and Manga Stack Exchange. And you know what? They've got a solid point. I mean, a lethal wound is a lethal wound, isn't it? If a kunai to the right spot can end a fight, why go through all the insane training to master something like the Rasengan?
The logic is sound, but it's missing a really critical piece of the puzzle. This isn't just about making a bigger hole. We're talking about the fundamental difference between focused, piercing damage, like a knife, and applying an overwhelming, grinding force that doesn't just cut, it literally tears things apart. And to really wrap our heads around that kind of force, we actually have to step out of the ninja world for a minute and jump into some fluid dynamics. We need to talk about the power of the vortex. So, what even is a vortex? Well, a scientific paper by Jack Deneur explains it perfectly. Basically, it's a rotating system. Think of a gas or a liquid, where everything starts spinning faster and faster as it gets closer to the middle, right up until you hit that weirdly calm spot at the center called the eye. And this isn't some abstract science stuff, not at all. You see vortices in nature all the time, and they are some of the most powerful forces on Earth. We're talking about tornadoes, whirlpools, little dust devils, and even massive hurricanes. They all work on the exact same principles. So where does all that crazy destructive power come from? The secret ingredient, the thing that makes it all work, is a huge difference in pressure between the outside of the vortex and the inside. Physicists call it a steep pressure gradient. This chart here shows it perfectly. Out on the edge of the vortex, you've got relatively high pressure, but as you move toward the center, that pressure just plummets, hitting rock bottom in that calm little eye right in the middle. So this massive pressure drop creates this incredible inward pulling force. It's called centripetal force. Imagine swinging a ball on a string. That constant pull towards your hand, that's the idea. This force grabs all the energy in the system and crams it into that super fast spinning wall right outside the eye. And that is where a vortex does all its damage. And just to give you a sense of the insane energy we're dealing with, get this. That same scientific paper estimates that a normal tornado has to basically recharge all of its kinetic energy, all its energy of motion, about 100 times in its life, just to fight against friction and keep going. That's an unbelievable amount of power. Okay, so now that we're armed with all this vortex knowledge, let's head back to the world of ninjas and see how this all clicks into place with the Rasengan. The official fandom wiki gives us the lowdown. The Rasengan, which literally means spiraling sphere, is an A-rank ninjutsu. It's described as a violently rotating ball of pure chakra that the user just holds in their hand. A violently rotating sphere of energy where all the speed is concentrated? Does that ring a bell? It's exactly what we were just talking about. The Rasengan isn't just like a vortex. For all practical purposes, it is a perfect, stable, handheld vortex. And here's how it lines up. First, you create the container, a stable ball of chakra. That's your outer edge. Second, you fire up the engine, spinning the chakra inside as fast as you possibly can. That's what creates the pressure gradient and concentrates all that energy. And finally, the impact. The moment it hits something, that container shatters, releasing all of that focused, grinding, rotational energy in one massive blast. And as another user, Shorio, points out on that same forum, the result is a completely different universe of damage. It doesn't just cut, it annihilates.
The description is that it penetrates and just destroys an opponent's chakra system on a cellular level. Yeah, you're not doing that with a kunai. So let's put it all together. It's time for the final verdict. Let's just look at the tail of the tape here. A kunai, it deals piercing and slashing damage. It's powered by pure physical strength. It can be blocked by a hard surface, and its effect, it causes a wound. The Rasengan, our little vortex, it deals grinding damage and a kinetic blast. Its power source is concentrated rotational energy. And we've seen it in the show, it doesn't just get blocked, it shatters powerful defenses. It doesn't just make a wound, it causes overwhelming internal trauma. When you boil it all down, it's this simple. A kunai is a tool. It works because it's sharp. The Rasengan, that is something else entirely. It's basically a weaponized force of nature. You're taking the physics of a tornado and focusing it right into the palm of your hand. So yeah, that pretty much settles the Rasengan debate. But it does leave us with a really cool question to think about. What other awesome fictional powers out there are secretly hiding some real-world physics right under our noses? Something to chew on. Thanks for checking out this explainer.